Has your business at all been impacted, or what trends are you seeing in shipping in the midst of this trade dispute?
Well, logistics industry overall is very seasonal. Second half is usually our peak season. But last year, this time, we actually saw a surge in volumes because a lot of shippers were trying to push in the volume before the tariff kicked in. And the terminals, especially in Southern California, terminals were congested, and there was severe shortage of truck drivers, warehousing capacities, even chassis. And this year, we also see some of the shippers are trying to pushing volumes before the peak season because of the uncertainties on tariff situations. But most of the shippers are actually dealing with capacity issues because they're really trying to figure out what they are trying to do next year. Are they going to stay profitable with the tariff and also to increase the price from steamship lines?
So what happens then during peak season if this trade war is still in the state that it's in, where, you know, potentially a new round of tariffs on September 1st and then again December 15th?
Well, we will see more uncertainties from the shippers' behavior for sure, because right now we see a different behavior from the shippers comparing with last year this time. Shippers are really reacting to the different tariff, and a lot of shippers are trying to really react to the tariff, in fact. So it's very different for comparing to last year, and it's very difficult for small trucking companies to react to it. In trucking industry, 90% of the trucking companies are very small ones, and those small business owners are struggling to really help their employees to put the food on the table right now.
So tell us a little bit more about the role you play in this relationship between vendors and customers and trying to get goods from point A to point B across an ocean or two.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So tell us a little bit more about your relationship and your position in the relationship between vendors and customers and the ability to get from point A to point B, maybe across an ocean, across a continent as well.
Yeah, we're the first trucker-centric marketplace connecting shippers with small trucking companies with focus on port drayage. Port drayage is really the first mile of any imported goods. So we're really in the forefront of international shippings. For Next Trucking, we give our shippers transparency. They can really streamline the whole process, and that they can really track and trace their loads real time, retrieve the proof of delivery when the load's delivered, so they can really bill their buyers a lot earlier so they can increase their cash flow. And for carriers, we really wanted to empower the drivers with technologies, especially small trucking companies, allow them to take more loads, become more efficient, drivers make more money, because trucker shortage is really the #1 problem of our industry right now. And the next is really empowered to serve the truckers and allow them to come back and to the industry so we can really help the industry to balance supply and demand.
So if the trade war continues to escalate, are you concerned? We've already also got protests happening in Hong Kong. Are you concerned about an impact to your business?
Well, the flow of goods still come into the port because, we do have the consumption needs in the country. And of course, there's the biggest issue is really the volatilities and the fluctuations of the flow of the goods, because last year is very different from this year. And also shippers are trying to adjust to the situations and also tariffs and also Hong Kong situations. But at the end of the day, all the shipping costs, the delay at the port, and also the cost from demurrage, per diem, and the extra chassis will apply to the end consumers like you and me.
So you're saying that the Hong Kong protests in particular haven't had any impact at all?
Right now, we haven't seen it yet because the largest port overseas is probably Shanghai, not necessarily Hong Kong. But we probably will see some situations happen later on, but we haven't seen any impact at this point.